If I'm a painter, I'd be a depressionist. Welcome to another episode of Sellouts, the podcast for MGK fans, by MGK fans, presented by Pink Fox. And today I have a super special guest with us, and that is the one, the only MGK lookalike himself, Jason motherfucking Barker. Woo! How was that for an intro? How you doing today, Jason? That's good. Yeah, me too. We've been trying to plan this out for a few weeks now. Finally made it happen, and this is one of my personal favorite episodes to record. Kind of backstory between Jason and I was obviously being an EST. You know who Jason is. You've heard of him. He's like this elusive figure. And then I was actually talking to a mutual friend of ours, Sam, who then introduced me to Jason. And from there, it was kind of off to the races. And coolest moment of my life was when he's like, "Oh, you're the Pink Fox guy, right?" And I'm like, oh, "He knows who I am."
Absolutely, man. I've seen your hats everywhere. After I saw him, actually, he wore one of your hats, right? Or have you just made...
Other way around, yep. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
and immediately after I found your link, I was like, I want some of this merch. And I mean, it's funny how the universe works that I'm here with you now, you know?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. So, like, the thing about that was... right, so he and Megan, they were wearing the hats, and I was waiting for them to release them, and they never did, and I said, like, screw it, I'll just do it myself, and we'll kind of do what we can out of it. And people seem to like it, so if it's anything to the MGK team, you got a good product there if you want to use it. So, anyways, though, really excited for this episode. So, Jason, let's just get right into it. Like, who are you, where are you from, and how long have you been an MGK fan for?
So I'm actually from Columbus, Ohio, not too far from Cleveland. I've actually spent most of my life going up to concerts in Cleveland because the concerts always roll through Cleveland. But I've been an MGK fan ever since I saw him with Tech Nine on the Hostile Takeover tour, I think it was, in 2012. I was a huge Tech Nine fan. I actually have a Strange Music tattoo, just like I have numerous MGK tattoos.
Yeah.
And after I seen him come out there, I was like, who is this long, lengthy white boy that is headbanging like he is like part of a hard rock band? And from there, I mean, it's led to this, you know. I've seen him 20 times now since 2012. So it's been a long journey. And other than that, what was you going to say?
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's like, what's like the backstory there? So you see him at Tech Nine on that tour, and then was it just kind of like MGK ever since? Did you kind of go back through the discography? Like, what was kind of your steps there?
I'm kind of glad you asked that. So I saw him then, and of course, like, that made me a fan, and I wasn't on like the whole movement yet. And then I had seen him fast forward to 2015, I think it was. I saw him at the Gathering of Juggalos with the Insane Clown Posse.
Okay.
What a crowd. And at that moment, I was like, wow, I was there to see him, Tech Nine, and a few other artists because the festival was known for bringing in lyrical MCs such as Machine Gun Kelly. Well, nobody wanted him there at the festival. And this dude, he had ate some chocolate mushrooms before the festival. And during his performance, he threw up. He wanted everybody to start a throw-up chant. So you had like 50,000 people chanting, puke, 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 puke. And they bring like a 50-gallon bucket for this man on stage. He throws up, and then he continues headbanging, jumping around, climbing everything. I was like, I'm sold. Like from the stage presence to the lyrics to just him as a person, I was sold from that moment. I was like, from there on out, it was EST, MGK, everything.
He sings, he raps, and he throws up on stage. What more could you ask for? So all right.
The video's still on YouTube too.
Okay, so that's like 2015, which means that would have been like right after or right before general admission?
Yeah, yep.
Was it after or before? Do you remember?
I think it was right before, it was in the summertime.
Okay,
So I
so it
think,
wasn't before.
yep.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So I want to get out. Like we need to talk about this, right? Like
What's that?
if you're watching the video of this podcast, you see what Jason looks like. If you're friends with Jason on Facebook, you know what Jason looks like. If you've seen some like MGK clips on the internet, you probably know what Jason looks like. Why?
The
Because he looks
Nine Lives
exactly
music
like
video.
the Nine Lives, right? Exactly, Nine Lives music video. Jason looks identical to fucking Kells. How long has this gone on for? Was there always a resemblance? What's going on here?
You know, I think the best way to start this off is it's so funny is 10 years ago when I was going to concerts, traveling and everything, getting off at bus stops, I was getting called Slim Shady because I've always had blonde hair, like platinum blonde hair my whole entire life. So it's just so ironic to me. 10 years ago, it was, oh my God, it's Slim Shady. And now it's, oh my God, it's Kells. And you just know how ironic that sounds if you know anything about the two, you know? So it's so funny. But I think it was maybe 3 years ago, I got with this girl from Chicago. And I FaceTimed her for the first time. And she literally was like, oh my God. And I was like, what? And her and her friend was like, you look like a mix of like Justin Bieber and MGK. And like, I looked up Justin Bieber because I was thinking of like old baby, like bowl cut hair. And I was like, nah, not at all. And then I seen Kells with the new era, you know, the pink era, we'll call it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the? I was like, all right. I was like, I can see what you guys are saying. So I guess it kind of started from there. But it's just so funny that 10 years ago it was Slim Shady and now it's Kells.
Yeah, so you get this compliment that you look like a combination of MGK and Bieber, and then since then it was like, okay, I'm just gonna go all into this. I already love MGK. I love his music. I love EST. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this thing.
The funny thing about that is like how I dress right here is how I was dressing in middle school. It's just I was bullied and made fun of for it 10 years ago, but now it's like
now it all came back.
So thank you, Kells, for that, and thank you the whole alternative scene that's like blown up right now.
Yeah. So were you always an alternative kid?
You said what?
Were you always an alternative kid?
Always. I've always been an outcast.
Gotcha. Okay. So like, who did you listen to growing up?
Growing up, I'm a musical mutt, man. So everything from like Bob Dylan to hardcore rap, like Tech Nine, to mainstream rap, and everything except country music, honestly.
Okay, gotcha, cool. So when we talk about like your outfits and the way that you're dressing and stuff like that, you say it's the exact same as what you were wearing growing up, which is really cool that now it's come back around in a more positive way than it did when you were growing up. So like, how would you like? It's almost like, how would you like classify like your style, right? So like straight up, what you're wearing, like that's what I imagine Pink Fucks to kind of grow into.
I don't know. I don't like labels. That's so hard. If I had to really put a label on it, I would have to just say like a punk alternative kid.
Yeah.
Like maybe the kid that's never grown up.
I love that. That's so cool. I want to go back to something you said earlier, right? You've seen Kells 20 plus times at this point, which fucking sweet. You, however, did something so incredibly badass just recently. You went overseas to the European tour for several shows.
A once in a lifetime opportunity, brother.
What inspired you to do that?
So after going to, it was 10 shows domestically here in the United States just for the mainstream Sellout tour. I obviously ended it here at the home show at Cleveland, and I was blown away. And I just felt like it wasn't enough. I mean, as much as he put into that show, and it was amazing, best show I've ever seen, hands down. But I just wanted more, and instantly I was like, I'm going overseas. I have to. And since I went to the last show in the domestic side of the United States, of the tour, I had to go to the last 2 shows of the European tour because I felt like he was just going to end it with a bang, and he definitely did. It was a once in a lifetime experience, and Europe knows how to go hard for concerts, man.
Yeah.
Honestly.
The videos that came out of the European tour were insane. And actually, next week's podcast episode is with MGK Israel. So I was talking to her. I was talking to Nikki, and
Awesome.
yeah, she's so cool. And we were talking about that actually. And I was like, why do you think that the European tour goes crazier than the US tour? And she gave a really good insight. She's like, because your American tours happen every year.
Yes.
She's like,
Absolutely.
you guys get to see your favorite artist, minimum 1 time a year. We don't get to see them for like every 2 to 3 years. So It's so much different. So that's what she was telling me. And I was like, oh shit, that's a really good point.
Yeah, that's honestly the exact outlook I have on it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to throw this out here because this is going to be published. Nikki is an amazing person, and everybody go follow her right now. MGK Israel, she's amazing. She's my EST mama. She took care of me overseas. Go follow her.
Yeah, do it. She was so great to talk to. And again, that episode will be out next week, so subscribe if you want to see that. All right, so you went to 2 shows. So you went to Amsterdam, and what was the one before that?
Dublin, Ireland.
All right, so I was gonna say which one was better, but I'm going to assume that Amsterdam was better because it was the last one.
Absolutely, Amsterdam was a crazy show. Unfortunately, though, I had something happen to me during the show where I had blacked out, and I didn't get to see Kels perform fully at Amsterdam. So the show was definitely better. I mean, it was Amsterdam,
Yeah.
It's Amsterdam versus Dublin, Ireland. So,
yeah.
But Dublin, Ireland was an amazing show as well. And I actually got to meet the team. I got to meet his tour manager and everything. So
yeah, that was cool.
That was super cool.
Nice. Like, who on the team did you meet? Did you meet everybody or just like some guys, or what was that scenario?
I got to meet Dante, which is the tour manager, and then his bodyguard. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Not Reed?
Not Reed. The other one.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. So you did Europe on a whim, but you said you went to 10 domestic shows in the United States. What 10 did you go to?
I went to Boston. I went to Cleveland, Indianapolis, Detroit, Pittsburgh, North Carolina, Bonnaroo, Lollapalooza. Wow, they're all starting to blend together now. I have to look back on my Ticketmaster account. I forget everywhere else.
Did you do MSG?
No.
No?
I actually... So listen, I had tickets for it, but they were only seat tickets, and I'm so bougie. If I'm not front row, I don't want to go.
Wow. That's crazy.
So with that being said, I've had either VIP front row or I've been front row general admission, and I've been literally at the barrier for every show.
Yeah, I did know that from seeing some content that you were in. You're always front and center.
Camping out 20 hours, man.
What North Carolina shows did you go to? Both of them?
Was it Raleigh?
Yeah.
I think it was Raleigh, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I was at that one too. I did Charlotte, Raleigh, MSG. What else? We did Camden, and then we did Cleveland.
I wanted to do Camden. I have a lot of friends in Jersey. A lot of EST friends, actually. I went to the movie premiere in New York City for tourists, and I went out there with a bunch of friends from Jersey, And so I was kind of wanting to go to that show, but I just couldn't afford tickets after splurging.
Dude, the Camden pit was so cool. So we were first row behind the pit, okay? But the pit was so small, it was maybe 5 rows deep. So I literally, like, with the way my camera was, I was literally third, I looked like I was third row. Because
That's awesome.
it was so sick. And that was the show that we went to on a whim.
That's so sick.
Mm-hmm. And then
I would have loved to go to that show.
And then you're going to the Florida shows in a few weeks too.
Yes, that's in. I'll be heading down there in 11 days, actually.
Yeah, so he's performing in Tampa on the 3rd and Fort Lauderdale on the 4th. So I will be there on the 4th, so we better link up.
Absolutely. So you just said Fort Lauderdale's the 4th? Is that the Odyssey Beach?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I will see you there, brother. We would have to.
Yeah, that'll
be family reunion.
So much fun. So I'm really looking forward to that because that's gonna be so, like, on the beach in December in Florida. Look, we're both from Ohio, so we understand what the weather's like right now.
I haven't left my house unless I had to.
So we deserve some sunshine as well. And dude, it's been so crazy, right? So, I guess I last saw him in August, and just kind of like listening. So like the version of God Save Me that I listen to on repeat is the live performance that he uploaded to YouTube, like from Vevo or whatever.
Yeah.
So like that's one that I listen to all the time, and that version has the guitar solo at the end. And then he also did he also did like that same like live performance style of Twin Flame, which, as we know, just God tier. And as I'm listening to this, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm having post-concert depression, and I'm so eager to listen to that live again.
That post-concert depression is real. It is real.
I've never really experienced post-concert depression, I feel like, until now. And I feel like the only reason that I'm experiencing it is because I feel like for a lot of people, like, if you go to like see like your favorite artist, you're maybe seeing them like once or twice a year, but we're insane and we do this shit 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a year. And so because like we see him so often, we now get like accustomed to seeing him. And then when we have like this gap of not being able to see him, it's like, oh my God, I need to see a concert. Oh my God, I need to see a concert.
I'm already patiently waiting for the next tour, even though I have 3 shows still to go to. Yeah,
so you got the two Florida and then the Phoenix show right in February. Yeah, that's fire. Oh God, should I try and swing for the Phoenix show?
Please do.
Don't tempt me, Jason. I might.
I'll pay for your ticket.
I might hold you to that. I might hold you to that.
I said it here on the podcast.
We'll talk after. All right. Let's transition into just some Kel stuff here, because I'm really curious to know some of this stuff. So Kel's music, kind of as a whole. Let's just kind of take this under an umbrella. First off, what's your favorite Kel's album?
That I can never give you a clear answer on.
Okay.
But normally, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna have to go with Bloom.
Hell yeah! Okay, why?
One simple reason. My favorite song of all time. It doesn't even have to deal with Machine Gun Kelly. It's just my favorite song.
It's 27, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Because of course it is. And also, way to jump the gun on my next question. Okay, so Bloom in 27. Why? Because here's my take. I'm not sure if you saw my clip that I posted a few days ago. Bloom was the precursor to all the stuff that we're seeing right now.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
For me, what I don't think I said in that clip was Bloom for the longest time was my favorite album of all time. It is. It is. The thing that I like the most about Bloom is the versatility in it. Like, the way that album is constructed is you have, like, your set of, like, party songs and kind of, like, anthems between, like, Golden God, The Gunner, Trap Paris is another good one. And then you have your mix of, like, more, like, inspirational. Kiss the Sky, 27, Habits. And then you have your set of, like, love songs, right? Rehab, Bad Things, The Breakup, which was the deluxe version. Let You Go is another one. And then, if you just want to lay back and smoke, you have Wake and Bake, right? And Moonwalker. So, like, in one album, you have 4 different playlists.
4 different types of emotions, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's why for me, for 4 years, how long, the gap between Bloom and Tickets was 4 years, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
For 4 years, Bloom was my favorite album of all time. And then Tickets happened, and I was like, I'm not going to fight this. So why do you like Bloom, though?
Honestly, so as I said, it's for 27. Mm-hmm. Every other song on there is amazing as well. But the way 27 just captures my soul, like, I don't know, I could be in the worst... I could be in the worst mood that I've ever been in, and if I just hear that song, or just the beginning riff of that song, it's like instant, like, euphoria. Like, oh my God, like, I'm centered, I'm cool, I'm calm, and I'm collected. And there's not many songs or even many things in this world that can make me feel like that. And that song just captures every emotion all at once.
Yeah.
Like, literally every emotion.
Yeah, and I think the way that happens, because it's not just you, right? I mean, a ton of EST loves 27. The amount of 27 tattoos, the EST with the rose on the side of it. I'm sorry, not the EST, the XX with the rose on the side of it.
Like, I have it on the back of my neck.
There we go. Right, like Bloom was such like an inspirational, and 27, like kind of as a whole, right, was such an inspirational like moment for a lot of people. And specifically with 27, like, I think it's just so beautifully written. Like, just the piano, like the slow guitars, like just like the lyrical like steadiness of it all really just ties itself together into like this masterpiece of a song.
Absolutely. Masterpiece of an album, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's an...
I think it's more, like, acceptable to love it as much now with it, knowing that it was the precursor to Tickets. That it just makes you love it so much more if you actually, like, love the music for what the music's worth. Because you see the evolution from that to this. And I'm not saying as, like, him as a rapper to a pop star. I'm saying you just see him as an artist, and you see that he was able to do this, and he laid the blueprint 4 years ago for what he's doing now.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you resonated with that clip, because I felt that way for the longest time. I was like, all right, like, this is totally different. It works. He's good at this.
And with that being said, you also got to mention like Swing Life Away and stuff like that. Like, he's been doing this forever. I mean, as I said, he's been a rock star even when he was opening up for hardcore rap acts like Tech Nine. He was a rock star. He's always been a rock star.
Yeah, and I think one thing that you said super early on in this conversation, like, was like the rock star and like the stage presence and the vibes. And that's the thing for me that I love so much about Kells, maybe more than anything, I feel like. Like, if you were to give me the option between watching a Kells concert on YouTube or like just going through like my Spotify, I'm going to pick the concert every time because I want that feel. Because even in a video, it still comes across so perfectly well.
Especially when you've lived in that moment yourself, you can sit in your living room and just be like, wow, I was there. And you're just like, you're either reminiscing or you're living the vibe over again. I mean, I've literally, I think I've rewatched the Red Rocks set because I was there last year. I've rewatched that concert probably 200 times, and every time I'm having my own mini concert in my house, smoking blunts, like I was there. So I completely resonate with that, 100%.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because like even if you're not like there, or like if it's a concert that you haven't been to, like we have a video of me, and it was during, was it Bonnaroo this year? It might have been. I think it was. And so we were watching, they were live streaming it on Hulu, I think.
Yeah, they were.
And so we have video of me, and I'm literally standing on my chair like this, and I am just losing my fucking mind, bouncing up and down and dancing, and it's the funniest fucking video.
I was front row for that.
Were you?
Yeah. I was actually, so at the Bonnaroo show that he had in Berlin that same year, he had actually wore this. So I decided to wear it to the American Bonnaroo.
Is this gonna be the jacket? Oh my god.
Yeah. So I wore this to Bonnaroo this year, and I was front row.
Okay, can we talk about this, please? I want to talk about this, right? So the shirt you're wearing right now, that jacket, and I know you also have the pink leather jacket with
The studded one?
with the studs on it.
Yeah.
Can you pull that out for me? Do you have that?
I can actually pull that
Pull
out.
that out for me. And
It's
again,
so heavy.
this is for the video version, so go to YouTube if you're listening and check this out here on YouTube. And did you say it's so heavy?
It is.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
This thing is so heavy.
That's so crazy. So where did you make that? Was that custom? What's the deal with that?
It's completely custom.
Like start to finish, completely custom.
Yes.
Who made that for you?
You're asking a lot of hard questions here.
I am asking you a lot of hard questions.
I had it made by somebody on Etsy.
That's so fire.
And that's the first time I've ever said that.
There we go. Pink Bucks exclusive. There we go. Appreciate that, Jason. Thank you. All right, I'll stop with the hard questions.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So like I know I've seen you in that, and I think there's one other person that has one just like that as well.
Justin.
Right?
His name's Justin, yeah.
Justin does? Okay. And he's another one of the rare MGK clones, right? You want to hook me up with him on the podcast, or?
I actually don't have any of his information. It's like I've seen him at shows. We've been like right next to each other, but it's like we've never communicated.
That's crazy. And it's crazy. You guys would have so much in common.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. I want to actually talk about like I want to go into like tickets versus mainstream sellout, if you don't mind, because this has been a fun debate that I've been kind of seeing going around just a little bit. Is especially with mainstream sellout being nominated for a fucking Grammy.
Hey.
Oh, about time. Feels so fucking good. So with mainstream sellout being nominated for a Grammy, and Tickets to My Downfall being this biggest Grammy scrub of all time. Snub of all time.
Absolutely. Oh my god.
What side of this are you on? If you could only have one album and the other album gets wiped away from the earth entirely, are you going tickets or mainstream?
I'm going with Tickets.
Let's go. Why?
Absolutely.
Why?
So I know we just said that Bloom was like a precursor and everything, but Tickets was so original for everything that we've been fed from the music industry in the past 10 years. It was so refreshing and so brand new. And that's why it kills me. Like, congratulations again. Grammy nominated for Mainstream Sellout. Amazing. But we deserved it for Tickets.
Yes. Yes, we did. And what you just said right there, it was so original and it was so fresh than anything that we've gotten over the past 10 years. Tickets was the album that made music fun again for me. I was so burnt out of everything, and that album was a fucking shot of I don't know what it was. It was a shot of adrenaline right into your arm.
So, branch off of that topic, I'm gonna have to say, like, even like with some people and some critics saying like Tickets sounded like Blink-182 or this or that. Well, there's only so many chords you can play in pop punk to begin with. But with what you was saying is I was getting so bored of music. I think everybody was.
So fucking bored.
I think everybody was, and I think this may be a reach, but I think this is a really good standpoint is without Tickets, I don't think there would be this whole pop punk revival and everything else. I don't think all these pop punk bands would be coming back up again as much as they were if that sound didn't come back through that album, you know?
Yeah, he brought it back. He brought it back. It was dead. And he just said, fuck it, we're going to bring it back. And that's what they did.
Because as I said 10 years ago, I was getting bullied for dressing in Freddy Krueger sweaters and everything else. And now it's the cool thing to do.
Yeah. And I do think it's really cool to see like the other artists that are really coming out of this bubble. So like,
oh my gosh, yes.
So like straight up, I'm in love with Jaden. Like if artists were stocks, I would put all of my money into Jaden becoming a superstar.
I can agree with that. It's crazy how much he's blown up from. I had no idea who he was until the Tickets tour, and I think I saw the Tickets tour like 7 times, and by the third show, I was seeing familiar faces, not in the crowd for Kells, but for Jaden.
Yeah,
I was like, this is crazy. Who is this guy?
Yeah,
and now through the EST community, I mean, there's a lot of Jaden fans now. And it's crazy how hard they go for Jaden. They go just as hard for him as they do MGK.
Yeah.
And he's not at a superstar level yet. And there's already girls camping out 14 hours in line for him. That's crazy.
Yeah. So we have like these new artists that are just kind of up and coming, and we see like the Kells influence. And like specifically, right, we have like Jaden, we have Huddy, we have Ian Dior. And I think the thing that's really cool is the way that Kells has kind of taken these guys under his wing, right? You look at last year touring with Jaden, this year touring with Ian. Obviously, we know his relationship with Huddy through the What was that? What was it called? Downfalls High. Thank you. That's what it was. Downfalls High. So he's really just taking these new artists and really bringing them under his wing, which I think is super cool. And you're starting to see his influence throughout all of them.
Absolutely. I was talking about to my friend earlier of how there's a collective of artists that like every new fan. I'm really gonna have to say the new fans are really clinging on to like all these new collectives more so than like everybody that was like around for the rap era. But definitely everybody who's taken an ear to Kel's pop punk sound is definitely enjoying these emergences of new artists that he's like taking under his wing for sure.
Yeah, which is cool because it's just, right, if this is all the stuff that like we're really liking right now, we just get more of it.
It's everything on my playlist right now.
Same, mine as well. So I love it because, again, right, music was boring as fuck before 2 years ago.
it makes me feel happier, to be honest. Because
Same.
like
Exactly.
a lot of rap music, like, because I can't just like listen to music for like just it being background noise or just noise to me. I actually listen to the music. So like I can't just listen to like mindless rap music all the time. It has to have a message, or it has to be like super like cadency, like lyrical. You know what I mean? That's why Kells is amazing. But it was sometimes just listening to nothing but like hip hop and everything like that. It can be so depressing because it's so angry all the time. Like there's not very much like happy, good hip hop out there. You know, all the time. Like it's majority of it's angry and everything. So this sound is very refreshing. Like I wake up my day and that's what I'm listening to, and I start off my day way happier rather than, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm the exact same way. Like that's the reason that I love this style and this genre of music so much, is because it's just fucking fun. Guitars are fun. Drums are fun. Like a cool beat, sure, pretty fucking sick, not gonna lie. But there's something so much like it's just more. It's energizing, is what it is.
Absolutely.
So I completely agree with that. Let's do this. I got two games that I kind of want to play with you here, if you don't mind. All right, and then we can wrap this up. Cool?
What's the games? Yeah.
First one. Okay, we're gonna go through every MGK album, and I'm gonna have you tell me your favorite MGK song off of it. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Let's do this. No, I'm going to switch it up, actually, okay?
Now, are we just doing albums, or are we including mixtapes?
No, I'm going to scrap that idea. I'm going to pivot to something else, I think, instead. I'm going to give you two songs. You need to tell me which song you like more.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. We got Drunk Face or God Save Me.
Drunk Face.
Title track or Born with Horns.
Title track.
Let's go with Spotlight or Kiss the Sky.
That's a great track comparison. Oof. That was so tough. But Kiss the Sky.
Oh, okay. What if we did? I want to go for another real good one. What if we did Fake Love Don't Last or Nothing Inside? Let's go with both Ian tracks.
Both songs are bangers. I'm gonna have to go with Nothing Inside.
My Ex's Best Friend or Makeup Sex?
Makeup Sex.
Okay. Let's go with Runnin' or Edge of Destruction?
Awakening to MGK after the first concert. I'm gonna have to go Edge of Destruction, even though, God, you're giving me the hardest comparisons. But definitely Edge of Destruction because of the features he was able to bring on that album, and he was able to match their energy. Definitely submitting that one.
Cool. Let's go with some Hotel Diablo tracks here. What if we did? I got a good one here. I'm always curious to know people's answer on this. El Diablo or Floor 13?
I'm gonna have to go with 413.
Okay. Let's go with one more here. I want to go with a real good one.
They've all been really good.
Okay, good. I'm doing my job then.
Like nail biters, it's so hard to decide. Like
the one I was just going to do, but I already know your answer because 27 is your favorite song. I was going to do 27 or Twin Flame.
Absolutely 27.
Yeah,
I
I know.
I
That's
don't have
why.
a twin flame, so
Okay, that makes sense. I want to wrap up. What's like a good one that I can do? I want to give you like one more that's really going to stump the shit out of you.
I love the comparison so far because you've literally like every comparison you've done is like matched the vibe of every track is like similar. So
yeah. Well, oh, okay. I got two more. I think we'll do. Trap, Paris, or Candy. Okay, that was a quick answer. And then let's wrap this up with the Gunner or Golden God. Why?
that song, the music video alone, every time I watch it, my family is like, that should be a whole movie. They feel like he should turn that whole thing into like a motion picture. And it's just the lyrical ability on that song. I love it. I love the cadence on it. The song's just, it's a banger.
I feel like one of the things that we don't talk enough about in EST is Kel's intros are godly. They are always like the historically great and maybe historically the most underrated as well. Like if we were to just go off albums alone, you're looking at Save Me, Spotlight, The Gunner. I mean, Sex Drive doesn't really count, but El Diablo, right? El Diablo is basically the intro for that.
Right, absolutely.
Title track, and then Born with Horns. Like that's incredible. Like that alone is a playlist.
What's crazy is the live energy matches it too. It's a godly intro every time. Like the Tickets intro, watching him do Tickets to My Downfall, I was title track live.
On the pill.
Yeah, title track live. I was just like, oh my god, it was soul snatching. Same with the Helicopter. The first time you seen it, you're just like, oh my god, like.
Yeah, and I thought about that a lot recently too, like especially with the whole Helicopter thing. Like, he puts a ton of time into the intros, like, for that reason. Because, like, if you look at, like, the way that he has come out for, like, every tour, like, it literally is he comes out to the intro of the album. Which isn't, like, it's not, like, an uncommon thing to do, but I just feel like his is just so well, like, thought out. Where, like, it makes sense. Like, oh, like, Born with Horns, like, yeah, like, I'll come out to this song. Title track, obviously, just is maybe, like, the perfect intro of all time. Like, it's probably up there in that conversation.
That's why that Tickets tour is slightly more my favorite just because of how captivating the intro was. The intro, like I said, just, it was like God coming out of that pill bottle. Literally, God was coming out of that pill bottle.
I'm trying. That's a tough question. What tour did I like more? I think I liked. That's so. I don't like this question. I don't like this question.
And Tickets was right after COVID and everything, so everybody needed concerts. Like we all needed live music. You know what I'm saying?
I went to the first show back that was in Jacksonville after COVID. That was the greatest show of my fucking life.
See, I think aside from the Cleveland show this year, the greatest show I've ever seen was Red Rocks. Watching.
Oh yeah, you're so lucky. I could not imagine.
Like, I almost want to tear up thinking about it. When he before he performed Lonely, he talked about how his dad and his aunt always wanted to see him perform there and always wanted to see Red Rocks in general. And he poured out some of their ashes right there on the stage for everybody to see. And then he performed Lonely. One of the best performances ever. On top of him climbing the mountain too, during Nothing Inside. Like, best performance I've ever seen.
Yeah, just the way that, dude, he's such a fucking performer.
Knows how to put on it.
And makes it so much fun,
That's
right?
That's why I went to so many shows this year. 12, and it's going to be 15 in February if we're going to count February of this year as in
yeah.
And it's because even though it's primarily been the same set list, I have seen different songs, but the show is always different. It's the crowd interactions are always different, but he puts on a different show every time, regardless of it being the same set list. So it's just, you're always getting something new. There's always something new for him to climb on.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I find maybe the most enjoyable, and I'm sure you can relate to this as well, is when after going to so many shows and watching so many different concerts on YouTube, the transitions that he uses, the ad-libs that he uses, the different variances and everything, and then you catch yourself saying them as they happen, and then people look around at you how did you know he was gonna do that? And it's I don't know, I just knew he was going to.
The biggest one, does he even play guitar? And he's like, no, bitch.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I start saying that every time we listen to Mainstream Sellout now.
Every time. Everybody in Europe, so at the Dublin show, everybody was like, how did you know that? I was like, I'm from America and I've already been to 10 shows.
Yeah, that's so cool. My favorite thing, I think I've talked about this on a podcast. I think maybe I'm on a podcast with Nikki. Dude, I like Drunk Face specifically. That I know when he's gonna mic flip. And that to me is my favorite thing Kells does. Every mic flip is fucking perfect. And I think
the mic flips are iconic.
I think Colson Content did an Instagram poll recently where people chimed in, and the question was, did Kells drop a mic flip at your show? And everybody's response was no.
I've never seen it. As drunk as he gets, even at the Cleveland show, never seen it.
Never seen it, and it's so cool. And I have a sick video from the tickets show in Cleveland last year, and I was first row, I think, in the pit.
I waited 20 hours in the cold for that.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Sorry, so you know this then. During Drunk Face where he jumps up on the speaker?
He fell.
Not when he fell coming down, jumping off of it. But when he jumped up on it, that was right in front of me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Bro, I have a 4K video of him doing the whole chorus of Drunk Face and mic flips. And it's probably my second favorite video. My first favorite is my video from God Save Me in Camden when we were third row or whatever. But yeah, Kel's mic flips, my favorite.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things for his shows. When he does it and he successfully lands it, it hypes me up even more.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Jason, let's wrap it up with this, okay? I got 5 rapid fire MGK questions for you.
All
right, it's not gotcha questions. It's going to be all opinion based, okay?
All
right, ready? First question. Blonde hair, pink hair?
Blonde.
Pink guitar or black guitar?
Pink.
Rap or pop punk?
Rap.
Okay. Favorite U.S. show you went to?
Red Rocks.
And if you could have MGK collab with any artist, who would it be?
I don't know. It can't be rapid fire. I would have to say I need another Yellow Wolf collaboration.
Okay, so as we just hopped off, Jason tells me, oh, hey, I met Kells at emo night at 27 Club. And I'm like, and you didn't think to bring this up on the podcast. Why? So, Jason, go ahead. Just tell the story.
So I ended up getting tickets to emo night, which was the night before the hometown show at the First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. And I was with XX Cast, Rob Wallen, and his friend. And Rob just kept telling me, he's like, bro, it's your time. It's your time. Because every time I was with Rob, Rob got to meet MGK and everything else. And I was just somewhere where he wasn't. So I just didn't get to meet him at the time. So Rob was just like, it's your time, it's your time, it's your time, bro. And during emo night, I actually have a video of it. Kells was with everybody in the crowd just jamming out, you know, rocking out to all the old emo classics and everything. And nobody was bothering him. And I was standing in the corner, and he literally just came up to me, and he hugged me, and he was like, bro, I appreciate you for everything you do. And he's like, I love you, and I really appreciate you for coming to all these shows and all the support you show. And at that moment, I lost it. Somebody actually took a candid photo of me because I was like ugly, happy crying. Like, I'll send you the picture that you can upload it and maybe like share it in this or something.
Yeah.
I was literally ugly, happy crying. And I was like, I was just so like frozen in the moment. I didn't know what to do afterwards. It was amazing.
Like, how insane is that? Like that's like the peak of fandom, dude.
Yeah, it was honestly surreal, man. When the dude you idolize literally comes up to you and he like knows who you are essentially and recognizes you and tells you that he literally appreciates you for however I ended up coming to all these shows. The fact that I made it to all these shows, he's like, I appreciate you, bro. Like, I was frozen in that moment. And you know, like, everybody was asking me like, did you get a picture? Did you get a picture? And I was like, why would I ruin that moment to be like, let's get a picture? No.
Yeah.
So I was so actually happy when somebody on the Facebook group for Kells shared a candid photo of me crying. And they were like, yo, I got a picture of you in the moment. I was like, yo, send that to me. And that's the only picture of the moment, but I don't need a picture for the memory I have, you know? Like, that's like here forever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and Rob actually told me something similar, right? So Rob's met him at this point. Rob said like 3 or 4 times, like to the point where like Kells, like if Kells sees Rob, he will go out of his way and dap up Rob and be like, yo, like, so great to see you, which fucking sweet.
Yeah,
But yeah,
cool as hell. Especially when someone that big is so humble.
Yeah, and so Rob was telling me that where he's like, I've never asked for like a picture or anything because like I know, like, I don't have like a need for it. Like, have I wanted to? Yes, but like this interaction is just worth so much more.
Absolutely. Like,
damn.
That interaction was worth everything. Like, that was like that manifested me going to Europe because that was the night before the Cleveland show, and I was like, I need more. I need more.
Yeah, yeah, and I think and honestly, like, right, you've probably spent a fuckload. Right, you were saying that you don't do a show unless you're Pitt. You spent a fuck ton of money then, if that's the case.
A lot,
right? That made every penny worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So that is, damn, that is so fucking sick.
It was awesome.
And there we have it, Jason motherfucking Barker. Thank you so much for coming on, dude. This was so much fun, and I'm so glad we were able to make this happen.
I appreciate you, man. I can't wait to be rocking some of your merch at some of these concerts, too.
Let's do it for real. Thank you all so much for watching or listening. Wherever you're consuming this content, hit the subscribe button down below so you never miss an episode of Sellouts presented by Pink Fucks, and use promo code Sellouts at checkout to receive 10% off of your purchase at pinkfucks.com. We'll see you in the next episode.